So here we are, and we are in the holiday season, yes? Yeah, we are definitely in the holiday season. Thanksgiving is over, and now, woohoo, here we go into Christmas. So I want to share with you a poem that I wrote this last week that has to do with today's topic. 'Twas a month before Christmas, Thanksgiving just passed. I was feeling relief that was short-lived at best. My mind finally got it that Christmas is near, and in just a short time, we will greet the new year. The countdown's begun, 27 days, they say, until Santa is bringing the gifts on his sleigh. Oh, but wait just a minute, I haven't begun to think about shopping or get the lights strung. I have parties to plan, money to spend, carols to sing, there just seems no end. Anxiety is rising, blood pressure up. How do I do it all? I take a big gulp. Stress seems to live in the month of December. Lacking its presence, I just can't remember. Yet what I desire, what my heart yearns for most, is that peace will prevail with love as its host. But my mind just returns to all to be done, and my heart starts to race. Back to stress, not much fun. So I take out some time to sit with some tea, and a question arises. What's important to me? Well, that one is easy. My family and friends, peace, love, and joy, and bucking the trends. What I really value is present right now. I don't have to seek it. It's the holy now. It's the gift of just being fully present right here, of spending this moment being gratefully aware that it's truly my choice to have peace in my heart, to kick stress to the curb, to let love be my art. I don't have to go through this month in a flurry. I can choose what I value, and that's not to hurry. So what do you want this month to be like? Do you want stress overflowing, your blood pressure to hike? The choice is yours, what it will be. You can choose just to dance in the great mystery, in love that surrounds us, in peace's gentle flow, in joy stirring up in us, and knowing that you know. For the only true moment is the one here right now. Love longs just to fill it, if you will just allow. So remember this Christmas, what you value, hold dear. Then take those same things well into this next year. So I was thinking how interesting it is that, for me, two of kind of the biggest events that we plan are weddings and Christmas. And they're wonderful events. They're happy, joyful events. And yet what happens oftentimes in the leading up to these events is that we get all caught up in the stress. We get caught up in all the things that have to be done, the people to please, and so many times what happens is we get to the end of, we have the wedding and the reception, and it's like, oh my God, I'm so glad that that's done. Or we get to the end of Christmas Day and it's like, whoa, finally. And I don't believe that it has to be that way. And I sincerely believe that when we start getting clear on what we value, that our experiences of, and especially I'm obviously talking about moving into this Christmas season, can be so different than it has been any other year. When I look at our culture, I think it's interesting what we show up as a collective consciousness of what we value. And so I can look at an actor, and an actor gets paid millions of dollars for one movie or one thing, and that's entertainment, and it's fun to have the entertainment. And yet in life, our teachers get paid $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year, and that's life. That's life. And then we have our athletes who get paid millions of dollars in a year. And, even if we look at surgeons, and surgeons are paid well, they save people's lives. You look at doctors and nurses, and we look at what they get paid, and that, again, that's life. So we have this whole aspect of our culture that values the entertainment. We value the drama. We value the competition. And we have really moved away from what is really valuable. I mean, really, when you just look in our own country and you see this lavish wealth, and then, just in Springfield alone, and this is last count months ago, and this is not even knowing how many are out there we don't know about, but there are 800 teenagers that are homeless. 800 teenagers that are homeless. And then you just look at the people all around that are homeless, or people that really are not even bringing enough in to feed their family in any kind of a healthy way. And I think, good Lord, that's our collective consciousness that is geared towards all of these other things that we have come to value. And I'm not saying that entertainment's bad, that sports are bad, nothing like that, but I am saying I think that we need to wake up and we need to start becoming aware of what is really important, And so in our Soulful Saturdays, we had been doing the book SQ21, which is the 21 Skills of Spiritual Intelligence. And one of the things that we got to do in that process was we got to define our top 5 values. And in defining those values, it was also suggested that we put them in a hierarchy so that we could know, what was the top one, the second one, the third one. And here's a couple things about values. One is that our values will change with time. We're doing different things in our lives. And even when we put them in a hierarchy, say I have family and I have my job, sometimes my job is going to require me to do something and I can't do something with my family. But the idea of having these values and knowing what your values are is that then the decisions that you make in your life, you're checking your values and you're saying, does this align with my top values in my life? And the great thing about it is it helps you say no. Anybody ever said yes when they really wanted to say no? Yeah. And when we know what our values are, and we can really go back and we can say, you know what, I'm being invited to this. Because I know that there's all kinds of things that go on during the holiday season. I'm sure that we're pulled in a lot of different ways. But if I know that my family is my top value, and I only have so much time and I get invited to something, I can look and say, you know what, thank you anyway, but I'm going to spend this time with my family because that's what's, that's my top value. So anyway, values are a good thing. What is a value? What Webster says, it's one's judgment of what is important in life. And the reality is that when we are not living congruent with what our values are, our life is really, it's this. I mean, our life doesn't seem to have any real sense of peace to it. And again, so many times we don't even know what our values are. And it's so important, again, if we know what our values are, because then we start living congruent with our values, life is a lot better. Life is a whole lot better. So I don't have enough time today to lead us through how we can figure out our life values, and I'm going to look at getting that on the calendar for this next year for an afternoon because I think it is so important. But what I really want to talk to us about today is what are some values that we can really be anchored into as we journey through this entire month of December and into the new year. The reality is things get crazier. Traffic gets crazy, people get crazy, we have ads bombarding us, and we have, parties we're going to, or parties we're planning, or dinners, and we're shopping, and we're wrapping, and we're trying to figure out everything else. And that's all on top of just life, of just doing life. And so I really believe that if we can really look at some of these things and make the choice that, yes, this is what I'm going to focus on, that this entire experience of this month can be a really awesome and amazing experience for us. So Normally, as we go into the Christmas season, it's the Advent season, and so we talk about hope and peace and joy and love. Now, in Unity, for some reason, they've changed that word hope to faith. I do not agree with it in any way, shape, or form. I think that hope is our first place to start. Sometimes we can't have faith yet that something is going to happen, but we can sure move into hope. So I'm sticking with hope. So hope, peace, love, and joy. So, hope. And the question simply to ask is, am I offering hope? Are my words that I speak, am I offering hope in any situation? And of course, we look at what's been going on in our world, and, this stuff has been going on for a long time. This is not something new for us. But I do know that there are a lot of people who are starting to lose hope. They're starting to lose hope that life can be different than what it is. We've got all of this stuff happening all around us. And yet, you and I, we have the opportunity to speak those words that offer that hope, to be able to stand in that knowing that, yes, these things are happening. And a lot of times I look at some of these things that are happening as that this old consciousness has to break apart in order for the new to arise. And so I can find hope in that. I can find hope that as we do see tragedies that happen around the world, that people come together in a way that they've never come together before. There is no separation there. Nobody's looking at somebody else and saying, are you gay or straight? Are you a Christian? Are you a Buddhist? Are you whatever? Everybody just sees each other, and that offers great hope in that. And so as I'm moving through this Christmas season, and I'm just journeying through what's happening in the world and what's happening right here in our community, am I offering hope? And can I anchor into that? The second one is peace. And am I choosing peace? Now, this is a big one for us because traffic is going to get a little crazier and the stores are going to get a lot crazier. And, just as we kind of journey through the holidays and maybe get together with family and friends, and I know that's not always like the most look forward to aspect of the holidays, but how we go into it, it matters. And so, am I taking the time and in the morning to just center myself in that peace that passes all understanding? Am I saying, you know what, today I really value peace, and I'm going to be the presence of peace wherever I go? And so when I find myself in this crazy traffic stuff and somebody cuts me off, and my initial response is to, how many of us yell at somebody from inside our car? Just 3 or 4, 5, okay. I do. And sometimes we're going to it's going to happen, and then we go, you know what? No. Because you know what? It's nothing. So many times I'm like, what am I even getting upset about? It's nothing. It's nothing. And so maybe, somebody's going to get in front of you in line. So what? Maybe somebody isn't as present to serving you in a restaurant. So what? I'm having a hard time talking today. Yes. So what? But I think so many times it's just so habit for us to drop out of that place of peace. And yet if we value peace, how many of us value peace? Yes. Oh, yay. We all value peace. Then we have to make the choice for it. And we have to make that choice over and over and over again. And then joy. And where I was guided to go with joy is, am I living so generously that I literally bring joy to others? And here's part of it. We are being asked by more and more people for help. And we're seeing more and more people standing on the corners with signs asking for help. And it's been this struggle for so long, somebody, because I hear this so much, those people do that and they make $80,000 a year and you shouldn't be giving money to them. And yet what I know deep in my being is that generosity is my nature. It's our nature. Givingness is our nature because it is God's nature. God is always giving. We are expressions of God. And so that is our nature. And so if we're withholding out of what? Unrighteous judgment, who's that going to hurt? It's going to hurt me. And so I thought, well, okay, so I could just take some envelopes and I could put $5 in each envelope. I could have 10 envelopes in my car and I could put a nice little affirmation on it. And when I had the opportunity, when someone is standing there, I could give them this envelope and say, God bless you. Instead of, how many of us have that little fight with ourselves when we're coming upon somebody in the corner? I should give them something. No, I shouldn't give them something. Can I stop? I can't stop. Anybody do that? So just be in the flow. Give lavishly. Give generously. And get out of what anybody's doing with any of it, because it's none of your business. Your business is to be the most beautiful expression of God that you can be. And part of that expression is giving lavishly. No matter what, just giving lavishly. And then what would love do? Love is the last one. And I love the question, okay, well, what would love do? What would love do? What would love do? Because that's a big question, my friends. What would love do? I had the opportunity to listen to a story about a young girl. Her name is Caitlin Prater Hake, and she is in 11th grade, and her iPad got stolen out of her locker. And the kids who stole her iPad put some really awful stuff on social media about her. Well, Caitlin decided to ask that question, what would love do? And instead of retaliating, instead of shrinking back from this girl sat down and she bought Post-it notes. And she wrote 850 Post-it notes. And on the Post-it notes, she wrote things like, you're awesome, you're beautiful, love yourself, you're smart, you're brave, be confident with yourself, be your own kind of beautiful, you're special. And she put a Post-it note on every person's locker in that school, and this was in Canada. Well, interestingly enough, the teachers and the principal came and pulled her out of class and reprimanded her for littering. However, the student body loved it, and word soon got out about this, and the school pulled back on that. And in fact, City Council passed a proclamation that October 1st would be Positive Post-it Note Day. And isn't that cool? And they even have a Facebook page that's Positive Post-it Notes. And the thing about this is that, she chose love. She chose love over fear, hate, or not rejection, revenge, getting back at somebody. And we may look at this and go, oh my gosh, yeah, but what is this in relation to everything that's going on in the world? It's everything. It's everything. Because how we choose to be in any given situation affects the entire world. And if we just think that how I show up, how I react doesn't matter, we're part of continuing to create exactly what is happening here. And so in any given moment, we always have the opportunity to choose love. We always have the opportunity to choose peace and to choose joy and to choose hope. And that, my friends, that is what begins to change the world. Now, as I was thinking, on my way here today, actually, and because there is just so much going on, and I do hear people, they're getting on the fear train, and it's easy to jump on that fear train, boy, because everybody's talking about it, and everybody has these reasons why, and so, boy, more and more people I'm seeing are jumping on this fear train, and yet at the same time, I hear people in our type of thought saying, we're just on this edge, and any moment it's just going to happen, and yet what I'm seeing is that the majority of what's out there is about the fear, because that's what our media focuses on. It's about the fear, which makes it even more important for us, because we are the ones who are going to be we are the ones who, by standing in our knowingness of who and what we are, by choosing love, by choosing peace, by choosing joy, by choosing hope, by standing in that and living that, we are the ones then that are going to help this get over the tipping point. But you and I, we each have to do it. And we can't make excuses. We can't justify why it was okay for me to show up that way. We can no longer justify why I'm never going to forgive this person, or I'm never going to forgive this situation because I'm justified not to forgive. We can no longer make excuses. You and I, if we want to see the world differently, if we want to experience the world differently, we need to be in absolute awareness of what we are choosing to express and experience in our own lives every day, every single day. And when we've fallen short, because we're human, do I have the opportunity to go back and make an amend? Because if I do, I want to do that. Do I have the opportunity to just say, you know what? I would do it differently this time. Because love is the answer, you guys. Love is. Love never fails. And let me give you some qualities of love. When we're in that loving place, we're expressing kindness, giving, mercy, compassion, peace, joy, acceptance, non-judgment, joining, intimacy. We're acknowledging. These are simply just qualities of love. And we have to just know it so much that we are willing to look beyond what is and to continue to know and to live from that place of love. We have to do that. There's a book by Marianne Williamson called Return to Love. And she shares in there that she read a book called The Mists of Avalon. And in this book, it's a mythical allusion to the tales of King Arthur. But Avalon is a magical island that is hidden behind these impenetrable mists. And unless the mists actually part, there's no way to navigate your way to the island. But the only way that the mists will part is if you believe that the island is there. And that's the opportunity that we have, is that we know that love is the one and only presence and power. No matter what else is showing up, no matter. Love is the one and only presence and power. But there's these impenetrable mists surrounding it that many people can't see it. But as we stand in that knowing, as we live from that, as we speak from that, as we share from that, as we act from that, then these mists part for us. And as they part for us, my friends, I promise you, they will begin to part for others as well, because they're going to see the evidence. They're going to see the evidence of that. And so as we move throughout this month of December especially, but I encourage you to take this into your entire life experience, I would just encourage you to ask these questions. Am I offering hope? Am I choosing peace? Am I living so generously that I am bringing joy to others? And the last question that I would ask is, what would love do? What would love do? What would love do? Because love never, 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 never fails. And I know that as we choose to stand in this, as we choose to make these choices, that this holiday season will be one of the best that we have ever had. And it will only be the beginning of the best holiday seasons for us. So, namaste. Namaste.